Well, we do have a little bit of good news from Election Tuesday in terms of the American people voting to protect rights that we shouldn't have to vote to protect in the first place because Roe v. Wade never should have been reversed. However, it's looking like when you put stuff like this on the ballot, people have continued to come out to protect these rights, but it didn't pass in a couple of states. So, that's not ironclad. So we're gonna get into this which states voted to protect abortion rights and which ones didn't. And one of those states that did not was Florida. Let's read here. The biggest loss of the night was undoubtedly in Florida, where advocates had raised more than $100 million to reverse the state's near total abortion ban. And after Roe fell, 14 Republican states ended up passing basically total abortion bans. So this is where it won out. So in Montana, Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, Missouri, New York, and Maryland, voters came out to protect and expand abortion rights. And Missouri is an interesting state. That's where I'm from. I've been living out in New Jersey for a while, but I'm back here in Missouri and I'll be here for a minute. And, Missouri voted to expand Medicaid. Missouri voted to increase the minimum wage. Well, Medicaid expansion was a couple of years ago. But again, I'm just pointing out that Missouri did do that, voted to recreationally legalize marijuana. And yesterday, Missouri voted to increase the minimum wage and also to protect abortion rights. But Missouri voted for Josh Hawley, you know what I mean, and voted for Donald Trump. So, understanding voters' patterns sometimes can be a little bit difficult. Now, the three states where it did not pass: South Dakota, Nebraska, and Florida. And man, that's really something else. You know what I mean? That's really something else in terms of a lot of people apparently think this is evil until, of course, they get pregnant themselves or they get their mistress pregnant or something along those lines. When it starts to impact them personally, then it's a totally different story. But again, 7 states voted to expand to protect abortion access, which is good. But South Dakota, Nebraska, and Florida were not in favor of that, which is not good. So let's look at what the propositions were. In Arizona, it was Proposition 139: establish abortion as a fundamental right up to fetal viability and permit abortion beyond that if a doctor deems it necessary to protect the patient's life, physical or mental health. It passed. Currently, abortion is banned after 15 weeks in Arizona with no exceptions for rape or incest. So, again, definitely good that they went on ahead and did that. Obviously, Americans think that that's a line too far. Then we got Colorado, Amendment 79, which is to bar any state or local government regulation from interfering with an individual's right to an abortion and eliminate the state's ban on public funding for abortion. That passed. Colorado is one of 7 states without limits on when an abortion can occur. It barred state funding for abortion after 40 years. Overturning the ban means Colorado could start covering abortion for people on Medicaid and state employees. Florida, Amendment 4, again, this did not pass. This was to establish state constitutional protection for abortion up to fetal viability and when necessary to protect the patient's health as determined by their doctor. People did not vote to protect that. 3 executive agencies within the Ron DeSantis administration aired and distributed ads against Amendment 4. The ACLU of Florida filed a lawsuit alleging the misuse of taxpayer funds, though their case was dismissed. Maryland, question 1: establish an individual's fundamental right to reproductive freedom, including the ability to prevent or end a pregnancy. That passed. Maryland has very supportive abortion right laws. So that isn't surprising there. Missouri, again, now this is a very red state. And Amendment 3 was to establish a right to reproductive freedom, including contraception and abortion through fetal viability, with exceptions thereafter to protect the life or health of the patient, which is very important that it passed because Missouri was a leader in restricting abortion in 1825. It became the second state to ban abortion after Connecticut in 1821. Quote, all people deserve the freedom to access abortion, to access all reproductive health care. And again, before that, before Amendment 3 passed, abortion basically was effectively illegal, totally illegal here in Missouri. Montana, which was Constitutional Initiative 128, and it passed there. And that was to establish a right to ban abortion through, establish a right to abortion through fetal viability, with exceptions to protect the life or health of the pregnant patient. Um, and then we got Nebraska, where this passed as well, Initiative 434, which is to ban abortion in the second and third trimesters, with exception for sexual assault, incest, or medical emergencies. It passed there, but again, that's not to protect abortions. That's to restrict them. Okay, that was Nebraska. Wow, we got two. Okay, we got two of them. So that passed there, and then this is what didn't pass. Initiative 438 439 rather, I'm sorry, which was to establish a state constitutional right to abortion up to fetal viability or when necessary to protect the health or life of the pregnant patient. That failed. Nevada, question 6, which passed, establish a constitutional right to abortion through viability and after when deemed medically necessary to protect the life or health of the patient. New York, obviously, it passed there. Proposition 1 amends New York's existing equal rights amendment by adding, quote, sex, including sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, pregnancy outcomes, and reproductive health care and autonomy to its list of protected classes. South Dakota failed there. Grants the right to abortion for any reason in the first trimester, allows second trimester abortion only for health reasons, and permits third trimester abortions to protect the patient's life or health. And there's like 7 people who live in South Dakota, so it's not surprising that they didn't pass it there because, again, there's about 7 to maybe 45 people who live there. Obviously, there's more than that, but not a lot. So that is good news, but clearly it is not ironclad. It's not something that every state is willing to protect. And unfortunately, the reversal of Roe v. Wade continues to cause chaos across America. Hey now, thank you so much for tuning in here at Politics and Paper. If you like what I do and you support my work, go ahead and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it and really helps to support what we do here.